Right guys, we are back on the M2 competition in today's video, and it should be a good one because I will be taking the roof off, if I can take the roof off, that is. If you watched the last Q7 video I just did, I ended up putting oil in the engine because I needed to get it out the workshop and back in, so I needed to be able to move it around. So I ended up just sticking about 5.5 litres of oil in, which should be okay considering the oil cooler is missing off the front. It drives absolutely fine. The engine now sounds absolutely fine. So yeah. We are going to concentrate, first of all, on this roof section because it's the biggest part that concerns me. And I am going to fit a carbon roof. A lot of you guys said in the comments about having a carbon roof fitted, and I am going to go down that road. So I've just started stripping it here so we can have a look. There's loads of little spot welds here we need to just drill out. And then it's bonded on. I think we need to drop the roof lining down, get all that out of the way, and then hopefully just be able to peel the roof off. I haven't ordered a carbon roof yet. I'm just wanted to get the roof off first just to make sure everything's okay before I pulled the trigger and bought them, because they're about 1,800 quid, so it's not cheap. I have had someone out to have a look at this, and they said you're best off just like getting the roof off first, and then they can have a look at trying to repair that. So this isn't obviously going to be all in one video. This is quite a long process doing everything I've just mentioned, so you just have to bear with me. I'm going to go over some other bits as well, like how much I paid for the car and how much things are costing as well. I'm going to keep track of that because I think this is going to be quite expensive build. I didn't anticipate how much parts are going to cost. Like for example, there's a guy on eBay who wants 650 quid for a door, which is a lot. It's a lot more than I've paid for doors in the past, so I might just have to bite the bullet and do that. Just everything's really expensive for this car. There's nothing that's shouting out that's actually going to be quite cheap. So slightly concerning at this point, but I did pay a lot less for the car than I thought it would be worth, if that makes sense, being obviously crash damage. But then again, now spending probably an extra 2.5 grand repairing the roof, which is 2.5 grand more than I allocated for the roof repair, it's going to eat into that budget quite a lot. Currently, the workshop is an absolute mess. There's just loads of old parts there. I've got nowhere to put them. I don't have a commercial waste here, so I have just ordered a skip, which will be coming on Monday, so I can properly just clear all the rubbish out, because it just gets to a stage where I have a build-up of crap, and I just need to get rid of it, and yeah, it just looks absolutely horrendous. So, it isn't raining at the minute, so I am going to take this opportunity to work on the car outside while we can, and we are going to start off with dropping the headliner here. And yeah, getting a good look at the roof corner here, because I do believe it has dipped slightly here, so we do need to have a look at that. Yeah, so to do that, let's crack on and get this headliner out. So with the headlining all now out, we can have a first glance at the damage under here, and nothing too major, I don't think. There's a little bit of crumple here, but I'm not too sure yet. But what I'm actually going to do first is actually going to get a hammer and hammer this out as much as I can, just to try and get everything back in the correct position before I start taking stuff off. I've just quickly mop fitted the broken carbon lip, and it actually looks very good. That's exactly, annoyingly, what I want. Yeah, just this one's seen better days, although it's not horrendous, but it's just, yeah, too far gone. And also, quickly before I show you the roof, I have just got delivered a upgraded oil cooler, which is 40% bigger than a standard one. And the reason I got it is because it came with the hoses as part of the upgrade, and the hoses is what I need also, so saved a good chunk of money over OEM. Right, onto the roof. As you can see, I've just put a protective cover sheet all over the inside. This was over here. Just managed to find its way off. The inside to protect the interior, because obviously I've hit the roof all out, so it's pretty much in a normal-ish shape as much as I can get it. So I need to now try and remove the roof. I've just removed all 4 screws, which was just an E14. And they came out really easy, to be fair. Just little screws that go into the roof. 4 of those, they're out. And now I've got all where the roof's been spot welded. You can see there, look. But I'm not gonna drill it because I don't wanna go through the second surface here, because it's really thin, look. So I think I'm just gonna grind it off. I'll just have to grind through every spot weld, and hopefully that won't penetrate then the second layer. That's why I'm going to give it a go first anyway. I'm probably going to start doing this corner and maybe see if I can just start chiseling it up and go from there. Right, as you probably just saw, I've put it on a few time lapses, but yeah, the time lapses are very long. This is taking forever. I tried grinding them, but grinding with all the sparks, and it's really hard to tell once you've ground through the spot weld and then not into the actual body parts. So I've just resorted back to drilling, and I'm just drilling really carefully, and that seems to be working better, to be honest. So I've managed to get halfway down the rear panel. I might even need to replace this yet, I don't know. And I've started drilling out, you can see, look, along here, but God, it is a long old process, and I'm not even quarter the way through yet. And this is the easy bit, because I don't have to take as much care here at the moment, because obviously this is getting repaired / replaced. So it's going to be on the top side and the front, along the front here, or anything sort of here onwards, where I've got to be really careful. But yeah, this is taking forever. So I'm probably now just going to leave off the time lapse, and I'm going to skip forward probably about 3 weeks when I've got them all out. Now, I've watched 2 different roof removals on a BMW M2, and I've gone a bit rogue, and I've done something neither of those videos did. I've cut the roof out. There she is. Now, I haven't removed it, I've cut it out. And that is because I just couldn't see how I was going to remove it properly without damaging anything underneath. Even with drilling the welds out, you still need a chisel to get under there and just prise it out. And I just couldn't see how, obviously with the roof here and still being quite rigid, how I was going to get under these bits and just do it without damaging the A, B, C pillar. So I thought my best bet is to just cut the roof off, which is what I've done. I've completely cut it off. Luckily, no damage whatsoever, so that's good, because there was a nice bit of clearance. But now, all I've got to do is just drill these spot welds out and just basically peel it off, and hopefully do absolutely no damage to the rest of the car whatsoever. That is my thinking anyway. So I'm either missing something or I've been a genius. I'm not too sure at the minute, but it literally took me 5 minutes to cut out really thin sheet metal. So yeah, so I'm going to carry on now. We'll get this last bit out, and yeah, we'll assess the damage. Right, fast forward to the next day, and the roof is off. Every last bit is now off. I haven't cleaned everything up yet. I literally just got everything off, but I'm very glad that I cut out the section of roof before I removed the rest of the trim, because it made getting all this trim off here look just so much easier. And the best thing about it is I managed to do it without so much as using a screwdriver or anything down this side, which means I didn't have to damage anything. It was just a simple case of drilling these out, and luckily, because the roof was quite thin, I literally didn't have to do much at all. and then I could just peel it with my hands. I literally just drilled, peel, and it came off. And that's another good thing about that, is because I didn't have to get anything in there to like lever it, it didn't distort the roof line at all. Excuse me. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I can just peel it off, didn't distort the roof, didn't damage the roof, absolutely spot on. Now, what I did also find, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are going to be converting your steel roof to a carbon roof, but a tip, down the sides here where it was a bit more rigid, I used the drill, because obviously it's just more solid and it was easily done. But these bits across here, look, as you can see, look, they move quite a bit. So when I'm trying to push down and drill, it's just bending this and it's bending the trim, and it just isn't ideal. So I ended up using the grinder to grind these bits off. And again, then once I've ground through, again, just peel it off. And that just kept everything a lot more cleaner, especially across the front here as well with the windscreen. So again, obviously using the grinder, didn't distort anything, and just managed to pull it off. So the roof's fully removed. I have just got to go around and just remove the like body filler stuff here, get rid of all that. And also, while I was out driving this morning, I had the body shop come over and they just did a load of measurements just to check the roof line to make sure it wasn't bent. And the good news is, I think I've been very lucky. They said all the measurements look good, can't find anything. This should just be a simple repair. They said I've been very lucky because where the hole in the roof was right here in the middle, and it didn't impact the structural bars. So they said I've just been very lucky basically, and it hasn't distorted any framework, any chassis, any body lines or anything like that. So it should just be a simple case of getting this outer skin pulled and fixed in the body shop, which I have got it booked in to do. The carbon roof has been ordered. Only downside is though, I have no idea when it's going to turn up. I'm still just waiting from the supplier to confirm an estimated delivery date, because they've had to go for the people they buy it from to request an ETA basically. So unfortunately, I just don't know how long it could be a week, it could be a month for all I know. So I'll just have to keep you updated on that one. But the good news is obviously we've got loads of other things on the car to do. So now I know the roof's good, we can then start cracking on with the other stuff. So one of the things that has been bugging me for a while, well, ever since I got the car, is this exhaust. Although I didn't have anything to compare it to, it just looked bigger than a standard. I was like, a stock exhaust, I swear isn't that big. And I've now got a second-hand exhaust. Very annoyingly, I ordered this before I put the last video up, and then I mentioned about the exhaust, and I had about 5 or 6 people DM me saying, I've got an M2 exhaust if you want it. So thank you very much for everyone that did offer to send me that old M2 exhaust, but I'd already bought one, so it's too late. But it has confirmed my suspicions that the exhaust on this is smaller. However, the exhaust itself is the same. All they've done is change the tips for bigger tips. So I'm happy now that the exhaust is correct. It's the same exhaust. I'm not putting a standard one on when it's had an aftermarket one on. That's not the case. They've just literally just changed the tips. So, yeah, I guess now I think I've ordered a new rear bumper as well. We've got cracks here, 2 there. It's been pushed in here, so it's a bit creased. They're not the end of the world. I would have been happy to repair those, but the reason that I'm not going to repair, and also actually it's quite bad damaged here as well, which would have been a bit more trickier. But the reason I have decided not to repair the bumper is this bit. Look, so where the diffuser would sit in, it's just all bent, twisted, and trying to manipulate that back would be an absolute nightmare. So I've just bought a whole new bumper with a diffuser, so hopefully we can just swap that straight over. So let me just catch a breath and breathe. Right, work-wise, that is as much as I've got on the M2 today. I tried to look at where the oil cooler was going to go, but I had no indication of where it could actually fit to the car. So I think there's a few trims that I'm missing. So I couldn't do anything about that. So I thought I'm going to do something that I haven't done before, or I don't think I've done before, and that is actually go through the cost of what I paid for the car and keep tabs of what I'm spending on parts so we can get a total cost of the build. Now, I'm rubbish with this sort of stuff usually. I just kind of buy stuff and I don't really know if I make money on the cars. I know I do, but I don't know how much. I don't know how tight the profit margins are. But I think this one's going to be very close, and because it's quite an expensive car and the parts are really expensive, I think this is one I'm going to try and keep on top of, just so it doesn't get out of control basically, because obviously buying stuff like the carbon roof at £2,059 is something I didn't really have to do, but I thought with the additional cost over a normal roof, and I'll probably get that money back from resale, so it was something that was worth doing. So I was actually quite lucky in the fact that I paid, I think, quite little for the car. Now I actually won it for, I think, 15 grand plus fees, which actually is £16,574, and I collected the car myself, so I haven't actually included collection costs because I kind of tie it in with the other stuff that I'm doing. So that is what the car cost me. Now the insurance company, the seller, they actually wanted a lot more. They countered me when I first won it, and they wanted 20 grand plus fees, and so I think that would have been nearer 22 grand. Now they actually ended up cancelling it and relisting the car back on, and I won it again for the same price, and again they tried countering me at 20 grand, and after a couple of back and forths I just didn't budge at all, because if I'm the one willing to pay the most of the car, then why would I pay any more than that? That's ridiculous. Why would I be battling myself to pay more? So I never increase my bids. I always stick at my maximum, my winning bid, which is my maximum bid. And eventually he let me have the car. I think it was like 15,600 plus fees, which gives you the 16,574. And I think this is going to be my saving grace, because I think that was relatively cheap. The car as a Cat S is probably worth between 30 and 32, maybe nearer to 32 because of the carbon roof and other bits that I may put on it. So let's just go through what I've already paid for and bought, some of the stuff that I haven't actually got yet. So headlight, very expensive, offside, 605 quid. Driver's door, managed to find one bare that needs painting, 225. Oil cooler kit with including the pipes, 429. Additional cooler on the right hand side, 217. Exhaust, £200. Carbon roof with the carbon aerial fin as well, £2,059. Rear bumper, £320. Lower control arm, £84. Track rod end and front control arm, £150. The other stuff that I've bought already, and I'm already at £20,863 just for those bits there. Now I've got a little list on my right hand side here. I've written all this out, and I still need front bumper, obviously all bodywork, front parts for behind the bumper, side skirts, tyre wheel refurb, front wings, under trays, and like miscellaneous stuff that I've obviously going to forget about. And I estimate that to be at least £5,000, maybe closer towards £6,000. So if you add all that up, I'm at nearly £27,000. And if the car's only going, if I can only get 30 for it, that's a tight budget, because that doesn't include stuff that I've missed off, which is probably quite a lot and will end up being quite expensive. So this is definitely going to be an interesting build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I going to go over? Is this going to be above budget? Because there's no doubt this is the most expensive car parts wise that I have done, and I think it might even be the most expensive car overall that I've done as well. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna keep track of parts, and I'm gonna just keep, every time I buy one from now on, I'm just gonna add it to the total. So I may put a running total on the bottom so we can see what it is. Now there's no doubt I'm spending more money than I anticipated with this build, and that is mainly down to the roof. I didn't think that it would be as bad as it would, and I'd end up spending 2,100 quid on a roof plus bodywork as well. So I'm probably 2.5 grand down straight away there, and I didn't expect, if I'm honest, the parts for this car to be so expensive. They're the most expensive parts I've bought. Everything, even the wings, like even the wing on my carbon wing on my RS3 was cheaper than these non-carbon wings on the M2. So I don't know why there's such a premium over the BMW parts, but there does seem to be. So yeah, let me know in the comments, do you think I'm going to go over budget? And is this going to be a labour of love? A bit like the TVR probably as well. So yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you did enjoy it, and hope you did enjoy the little price breakdown there. And if you want me to, if you think it's a good idea for other projects going forward as well, just adding prices of parts, etc. as the build's going on, let me know in the comments. We will resume. I've just had, by the way, an email, the carbon roof will be 4 weeks. So it's probably gonna be one of the last things that we end up doing. So I can get the other bits together and start obviously doing the rest of the cars, and the roof is probably gonna end up being the last thing that we do. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.